What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's pretty neat. I've not been collecting fountain pens for a long time, but I really enjoy it. And as you do this, you kind of get into this stuff and you want to sort of like get into the various areas of fountain pendom, right? So, there's your German pens, I've got a few of those. There's your Japanese pen, I've got a few of those, but I've never had an Italian pen. So I got my first Leonardo Momento Zero. This is a special one for me because I got this at Atlas Stationers, atlasstationers.com. You can use Dylan10 to get 10% off, actually, I believe on this pen. And the reason this specific model and colorway is special to me, the reason I wanted it, is because it's a Jonathan Brooks resin. Jonathan Brooks lives a few minutes from me, and I met him at the pen show, and we were just talking this week about wanting to get together and kind of making friends with that guy. It's pretty cool. And so it's just kind of neat to have some local talent doing worldwide cool things. And I've got a couple of Jonathan Brooks pens, but I have not had any from the other makers that he supplies. And so this is really exciting for me to have my first Italian pen in a Jonathan Brooks resin. And I believe this is exclusive to Atlas Stationers. So if you want one of these, use that link, get that discount and get one. Let's go ahead and go through the particulars. So we won't spend too much time on the box, but it's a cardboard outer sleeve with another cardboard inner sleeve. We've got the literature that comes with it, which you can read. But what we care about is the pen itself. It's like a cardboardy sort of box, but when you open it, it's actually pretty nice. Flips open, it's got the logo on the inside there. It's pretty cool. This pen is amazing. This is the Leonardo Momento Zero, and this is the Atlas Stationers Golden Abalone colorway that is exclusive to Atlas Stationers, and the resin is made by Jonathan Brooks from Carolina Pen Company. Of course, I had to buy it because he lives about 20 minutes from me or 15 minutes from me, and the color is just amazing. I love this thing. First things I noticed when I first got it out of the box, the quality of the polish and the quality of the finish. The fit and finish is beautiful. You can tell that it is Italian. It has character to some of the finishes and edges without being low quality. Sometimes handmade pens can look and feel handmade. This does not. This is extremely refined, extremely polished, a really good build quality, but still very Italian feeling. We got this really cool roller clip. Obviously this is in the dark, I think this is some kind of black ruthenium coating or whatever. The roller clip is super nice. I like the coned end here on the end of the cap. And then we've got the same thing on the other end here. It is not overly large. If you look at the size comparisons with some other pens here, you'll see in a capped anyway. We'll get into the other ones later. Well, I'll just show you now. The capped comparisons, as well as the uncapped comparisons, and then the posted comparisons with some of the other pens. What do we have there? Safari and a 2000 and an Eco. You know, just some common pens. Oh, and a custom 74. It's just a very medium-sized, nice pen. It's not too small, not too big. When we go ahead and pull the cap off, I love this triple band here in the cap. I think it's really pretty. One of the things that I immediately noticed about it is I really like the section diameter. It's just middle of the road, you know. It just feels nice, and I like the fact that it doesn't have an edge down here, but it's got this little flare, so you naturally kind of go to this spot. You're not going to slide off the end of the section, but it also doesn't have any kind of ridges or any weird edges. It's got a little step here coming back up to the body of the barrel, but there's enough space. In fact, there's even space in between the threads and the step. So you have a little more room there. It's just so nice. And because the pen is a little bit narrower, it does not feel like I have to stay away from a certain spot on the pen. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty natural. When you post the pen, again, we talked about posting, we talked about posted lengths. It's just a great pen. If I post it and put it in my hand, I personally like the feeling of a posted pen with a little bit out the back there. I really do like that. The way it sits in the webbing of my hand. Now, I think I wear maybe a medium-ish, large-ish glove. So I don't have huge hands. I just have regular size hands, really. Man, I freaking love it, though. I love the way it feels. I love the taper, how it tapers off in the back. That's something that I've been paying attention to, is the taper on the back of the body. The taper on the back of the body makes a lot of difference to me, how it lays in my hand. So I really like that. Let's get to the business end. This nib is a steel nib, plastic feed. It is unbelievable. Leslie and I were writing with this yesterday, kind of comparing it to some gold nib pens that I have, the Lamy 2000, some other stuff. Now, Lamy 2000's in a class of its own, but this thing is amazing. Absolutely an incredible nib. Did I get a good one? I don't know, like in comparison to others, but man, it is unbelievable. It's so smooth. Not to mention, if you see the writing sample here, this is Robert Oster Rose Gold Antigua. And this color, because I thought it would be kind of fun to put rose gold in this pen because of the old, because of all the golden and pinkish sort of abalone that goes on in the color of this pen. So I thought, oh, that'd be cool. Let's put that in here. That ink is kind of a little bit hard to get along with sometimes. Sometimes it'll clog up a pen. It's been performing flawlessly in this pen. I've been writing with it a lot, leaving it overnight, making sure that it's not going to dry up the next morning with all that shimmer. Totally fine. Everything's cool. This pen is unbelievable. Now, if we come back to the actual operation of the pen, there's a couple of very interesting things about this specific thing. It's a cartridge converter pen, but you see back here, it's got a blind cap. So you pull this off, and there's a piston knob in here. What it really is, if we go ahead and disassemble the rest of the pen, is it is actually the back of a threaded and branded converter. So we've got a Leonardo branded converter in here with a metal knob that's attached to the back that then protrudes out of the end of the pen, the blind cap, so that you can use just it. So basically kind of use it like a piston filler, right? Threaded converter, which is cool. Metal threads, and the pen is actually plastic threads, so just be aware of that. And so here's the thing. I think it's neat. I think it's very neat. However, I like to see how much my fill is. So therefore, I'm going to take the barrel off the pen anyway. So I probably won't use that blind cap deal on the back. So this leads me to the only little gripe I have with this pen is that this converter can rattle against this metal threaded area right here sometimes. I don't know what causes it. I don't know if it's just where the knob is positioned. I don't know if it's how tight the blind cap is. I haven't quite figured it out. Maybe there's a way around it. But see, it rattles. So sometimes you'll feel that or hear that as you handle the pen. Does it make me hate the thing? Absolutely not. I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. This is such a great pen. They're not that expensive. At the time of making this video, with the Jonathan Brooks resin, I think it's 230 bucks, something like that, 250 bucks. It's a little bit more expensive because it is a Jonathan Brooks resin. But if you go to Atlas Pens, or atlasstationers.com. You could use Dylan10 and get 10% off on it. And, you know, that's saves you, what, 25 bucks? It's just so good. I am super impressed with it. From the moment I got this thing out of the box till now, I've been nothing but impressed with it. It hasn't failed me. It hasn't written weird. It hasn't hard started. And like I mentioned earlier, the fit and finish and the feel is just, it's unbelievable. It's unlike any other thing that I have. I've got some Sailors, I've got some Pilots, I've got some other handmade pens by, you know, custom makers. But there's just something about this. It's just different. And of course, the resin by Jonathan Brooks is phenomenal. So if you want one, you might ought to get one. I'm not sure how many they're making. I don't know if this is a short run deal. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. Usually with Jonathan Brooks stuff, it's kind of limited because he's a small supplier of these blanks to various people. So I don't know. I really don't know. But what I do know is you need to get your hands on one. This is in the medium nib. They have a few other nibs available. They also have one, this is the dark trim, but they have one in rose gold trim as well with the same resin. So obviously your pen's going to look different than mine. That's the nature of custom resins, but I don't think you will be disappointed. This thing's pretty stinking cool. So use the link, get one. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, and we will see you in the next video.